What's up, Switches?
I'm Jennifer.
And I'm Cicero.
And this is the Switching Lanes podcast.
Today's discussion topic, co-parenting. And that's an interesting topic. It's a very, very needed discussion, Absolutely. I think, in a lot of circles. I remember seeing this video on Facebook where the parents, the parents divorced and, of course, married other people. And each one of them wrote letters to to the step parents, so to speak. But of course we don't like to say step parents.
No. This
family was set up. The setup was beautiful. I mean, they
were so far beyond step parents.
Yeah. Oh, they were a family. They were a complete family, and you could tell that it was sincere and it was genuine. Mm-hmm. And they had so much respect for each other, and the level of maturity in the video was just
amazing.
Oh, it was amazing. But it's definitely a good example. I think me being divorced. I had to go through that. We had to go through the classes as a part of our requirements for.
Oh, okay.
Divorce.
The parenting
we
classes.
Had to go through the parenting class,
right?
Yes.
Okay.
And they show all these different videos and these different scenarios of what not to do. Mm. And honestly, I think that video would be one. That would be a good one, a good example of how things could be. I think they should show that in the video. Yeah, I think they should show that in the class.
That's a great idea.
Because the class is definitely helpful. It was definitely helpful. You could see, it shows you, they show all these different videos and they show you how the kids respond to the actions. And you see it, even on a day-to-day basis. You see it in other children out there. I mean, fortunately, I don't have to see that in my child because when we divorced, we had when we separated, we had a situation. We had already had our own arrangements, and it didn't take the courts to help us do that when we first separated.
Good. Yeah.
We had an understanding.
Makes it less messy.
Yeah, it was definitely less messy.
Less stressful.
My goal is always been to make sure my son is okay.
Absolutely.
So we both were able to get on that page quickly. Thank God.
Right.
So we had our stuff in order, and then once we did finally get our divorce, everything we were already doing, it just got put on paper, which is funny.
No, it's perfect because you've already worked it out. There's nothing to argue over or stress about.
Yeah.
You've already worked it out to where they say, okay, let's just write it down for you.
Right. We had one attorney.
So it's well organized. I love it.
We had one attorney.
Look at that.
We didn't have to fight. We didn't go back and forth. I came out of the courtroom like up top. It's done.
There you go.
And I mean, like I said, everything that we'd already been doing is in writing. And that's it. I mean, she was like, y'all are already this, and we're like, yeah. We met with her together. We were like, yeah, we're already doing this.
Because you had already begun the work in that part of that relationship. Once you do the work, put in the work and gain that mutual respect for one another, it elevates you to a different level to where you say, okay, what do we need to do to make sure our child is the priority?
Yep.
If you take out the raw emotions, the hurt feelings, and the bitterness, the anger, all of that, remove yourself and put your child in the center of it all, you'll be able to have a better view of what's best for the child. What's best for... And you basically remove yourself and that other person from the entire equation.
Yeah. I mean, I will admit, when we first started it was rough. We had our rocky patches, and of course, when he met his now wife, we had our rocky moments as well. I mean, and it wasn't anything outrageous or crazy. We just had some awkward moments.
It's an adjustment.
But we made the adjustment, and all three of us were able to come to a consensus as to how we're going to do this thing. And she's definitely equally included in decisions that we make for our son. And I personally don't believe that you can be an effective parent to your kid by trying to keep them away from who the other parent loves. I can't say I don't want her around my child. Now, as long as she's not toxic, I'm okay. Right. Now, if it's somebody that's toxic, then of course I'm going to step up and say, hey, I don't think that's a good idea to take him around her.
Absolutely. But even so, if the other parent is really all about the co-parenting and really all about that child, they're going to begin to pick up on those toxic behaviors and say, okay, maybe this isn't the best thing for my child. Maybe this isn't a healthy relationship for me to be in for my child's sake.
Absolutely. Which is why it did make it easier. I mean, once we got over those hurdles, got through the divorce, I mean, everything did come easy. it's the co-parent situation for me is an easy situation. I mean, it's a no-brainer. I mean, my kid is functioning well, and I mean, his dad and I, we get along great now, and the wife, I call her my baby mama sometimes. She called me her baby mama. We've joked and laughed about that. I mean, just like last year when I went through my surgery and with the tumor on my spine, she stepped up.
There you go.
The moment I found out I had that tumor, she stepped up. She called me and said, "Hey, we're going to take care of him. You do what you need to do to get yourself together. We got him. Let us know what you need."
And that's what matters. I'm all for the effective co-parenting situation, but in no way do I want to present anyone with the idea that it's easy. It's not easy.
Right.
I've gone through the process of building an effective co-parenting relationship. It's not by any means easy. You have to be It's a long process, and you have to be willing to put in the work.
Yep.
Absolutely. You have to be selfless in the situation.
Bottom line, you got to grow up.
You have to grow up.
You have to grow
up.
And I'm spoiled.
Next level stuff.
I'm spoiled, so it definitely took me some growing up to do.
Because
I'm spoiled. So
right.
I'm honest with that. I'm a spoiled person. My friend used to tease me about it all the time. I'm spoiled. I'm a brat now. So I definitely had to step out of that brat phase and be like, you know what, this is for my kid. And, I had to also remember his dad is not trying to harm me.
Right.
He's not doing anything against me. She's not against me. Everything is about our son.
The child. Absolutely.
So it takes a lot of growth. That's a level of maturity that some people just don't understand.
That's a whole other level. And I'm telling you, you have to have some amazing strength and some amazing focus. And a lot of times you hear... like in the video that you were talking about at the beginning, you hear the father or the ex-husband constantly saying several times that, I know I'm not supposed to love you. I know I'm not supposed to like you, as he's talking to the new man in her life.
Right.
And I think that's a misconception provided by society.
Right.
I don't think at any point you should feel like you're not allowed to love or like anyone.
Right.
The norm is what you make it.
Right.
You have to decide what's best for that child. And it's best for that child to see all of you getting along well. I'm not saying you have to get along so great that you can spend the night at each other's houses or jump up and go out to dinner or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Be able to be responsible adults around that child.
Well, you have, like he said, you have to show that child a functional relationship.
Absolutely.
And he told that man, and we'll post a video on the group page so you all can take a look at it. It's a great video. You should definitely look at it. But he made the statement that as a man he showed his son what he couldn't show him, and that's how to love his mother. Because he's definitely going to be an example to how he's supposed to treat his own wife.
Absolutely.
So he was able to say that, and I thought that was amazing, because it's not easy to sit in front of somebody and say, you're everything I'm not. That's not easy to do.
And it's not easy. And in saying that to that grown man sitting in front of him, he also elevated himself to the next level as a man.
Absolutely.
Because it took a grown man to sit there and say something like that in the first place.
Absolutely.
So he absolutely elevated himself and that new parent.
Yeah.
It really was a beautiful moment. In researching for the co-parenting topic, I discovered that there are two types of co-parenting relationships, which I didn't know at first. I just always focus on co-parenting, right?
Right.
So I came across this article that says there's parallel parenting and cooperative parenting.
Okay.
Now, with the parallel parenting, it's kind of like you're just tolerating each other. It's really not effective just yet. You still got some emotions going on in the middle, and you're just kind of doing things just to, say, okay.
Just routinely.
Just routinely going through the motions.
You know what I think about when you say parallel? I think about the military lines.
Right.
The soldiers marching straight forward.
Running straight forward.
They're not looking left. They're not looking right. They're straight forward.
And the thing with parallel lines is they never intersect.
Right.
There is no common point where they cross. And the common point is the most important thing in this, because the common point should be the child.
Right.
And the other part of the parenting was the cooperative parenting, where there's regular communication, consistency between both homes, parents working together to raise the child, and flexibility for the children and the parents.
Oh, yeah. Oh, we have a group text.
Hey now.
That's
it right there.
So, I mean, it's and if there's ever an issue, I'll call up Dad, say, hey, we got a problem over here. And he'll say, hey, what time are you free? And I let him know, and next thing you know, they knocking on the door, and we all sitting on the couch here. And we're sitting on the couch at my place, and we working this thing out.
There you go.
There is no, she needs to sit in the car.
Mm-mm.
There is, don't bring her to my house. No. Come on in. Let's have a conversation. And that's like I said, it's not, like you said, it's not easy to get to, but once you remove yourself, it's easy to maintain.
Absolutely. That's it right there.
I think back to that parallel parenting. That parallel parenting is so scary because it could work. I mean, it has worked in certain situations. However, that pulls a child in two different directions.
Absolutely, and a lot gets missed. A lot gets overlooked in a parallel co-parenting relationship.
And that's when you get that child that decides to go ahead and play both sides of the field.
Exactly. Because guess what? Now I absolutely have two very separate lives, two very separate homes, as opposed to an effective co-parenting relationship where you just happen to have homes in two different places, but it's all one family.
Right.
To where everybody knows everything. You can't play me against your mom. You can't play me against your dad. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And that's how we do. We
communication.
We texting each other. We calling each other. We at birthday parties together. We at birthday dinners together. We doing everything together.
Know.
We ain't. If they don't come, you best believe it's somebody had to work. Mm-hmm. But other than that, we're doing it all together. So
absolutely,
you have to be careful of that parallel type parent, and then the parallel parenting. But then I also think about the fact that there are ways that, you simply can't co-parent.
And it's not going to be possible 100% of the time. If it is possible, definitely try to put in the work and give it a try. If you see that you are dealing with the type of situation where it's absolutely not going to be possible, do what's best for your child. And that may be pulling away from the situation.
Because at the end of the day, just like with co-parenting, the child is most important.
Absolutely.
That's just like with the co-parenting.
His safety, his health, whatever.
Yes. And I understand, you have women out here who are dealing with guys who may have been abusive or incarcerated or whatever those situations may be. Or even, drug abuse. There may be drug abuse or alcohol abuse and the parent is not coherent enough to do what they need to do, effectively as a parent. You can't call any shots if you're always drunk.
And I've known I'm familiar with situations like that where the father had to pretty much take control and make sure that the child was safe because the mom was on drugs and alcohol so badly. So if you're in a situation where effective co-parenting is just not an option and you have, all of these other things going on, definitely keep the child safe. Do what you have to do to promote wellness in that child's life.
Absolutely. And I mean, the idea again always is to keep the child first. That's it. Work for your kids, not against them. Well, we're going to switch lanes and end this thing. But before we go, don't forget to check us out on Twitter at justswitchlanes.com. At Just Switch Lanes. Instagram at Switching Lanes Podcast. Look for us on YouTube and Spreaker. And you can also hit us up. You can also hit us up via the email, switchinglanes901gmail.com.
Definitely drop those suggestions.
Yes.
Your comments, your criticism, it only helps us grow. Definitely send it to us.
Absolutely. We love the discussions. I'm usually at work trying to see what y'all talking about.
Trying to peep at my phone every now and again to jump into the conversation, but keep it coming. And on that note, love, Jen, and Cicero.